Okay, welcome to our session 8 tonight, Wednesday, February 3rd. Same announcements as before. I just want to make sure everybody is accessing lynda.com successfully. I'll show you that here in just a minute if you don't yet know how. But that we've had access since February 1st. We actually are the first ones to do that and to access it. So that's really good for us to be the guinea pigs. Tonight's agenda, we're going to, during the first hour, make sure we're clear on objectives, and we'll begin working with assignments, the assessment actually, and we'll then just work with students who are working on completing them, and we'll continue the recording of that during our second hour. So we're all about this, the publishing of the self-promotional interactive infographic, and I'll talk a little bit later about this, but the publishing function for Google Chrome is having a problem, and I haven't yet figured out exactly why the output isn't working, so we'll go into that a little bit later. Here are our objectives. We definitely are looking to publish to different devices in the output media. Now the readings and tools coming from Lynda, and I'll show you here, making sure you know how to access that. Let's see if I share this screen. Tell me if you can see it. Well, it's probably still that screen. 1 second. Can you see the home page on our screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So the easiest way is just to click on modules, and you'll see week 3 has it, not week 1 or 2, but week 3 has the link here and or here. So the readings and tools are actually found in here. The list is there, but to access it, you have to go here. Click on that, load up a new window, and this will log you right in, and it'll go right to the playlist. Let me do that one more time. So click on modules, scroll down, week 4, and this will load you right in to the playlist for that week. You'll see DES 365 week 4, and here's the playlist. So if you have any questions on that, let me know if it's not working for you.
And now those people are coming back saying, now I don't have access anymore. My dad says permission denied. So we're getting a back and forth, and now people need it. I think we need it.
Now, I want to make sure everybody's doing the career integration quiz. It's the same one you had last mod. It's worth 15 points. Just do your best at answering those questions, and that way we get our feedback on that. So now let's get into that assignment. This is the week that we make sure the animations are working, that the interaction is working, and then also the the different size for desktop and smartphone. And then the objective has been to get to the HTML5 Canvas document. And if you're using Edge Animate, some of your students have done that. You'll be using HTML5. If you're using Adobe Flash, then you can create either the Swift file if you're using ActionScript 3. And if that's the case, then if you can get it working in that environment or using that platform, we'd like you to challenge yourself to try to then create a project file in HTML. It definitely will be a positive for you to do that, because you'll be able to, that's where we're headed. And so if you did choose ActionScript 3 for your project file, then I'd like to challenge you to take on moving your animation into the Canvas document and exporting that as HTML5 for the final. So let's now look at that one. I've got to get this new share. Oops. Exit there.
Yeah, so they have what's called work request.
Got Flash here on a different screen. Got like 1, 2, 3, 4 screens here. Now let me see. What do you see on the screen right now?
Desktop. It says desktop, and then it has the animation scripting file on top of that.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me see if I can start a new share here. Oh, just Flash.
Probably back on one of those days. How's everything for you, man? Are you still? I mean, it is easier to come over and get you in between.
Let's see. I'll probably
email you, schedule a meeting. A lot of people ask about that with you.
Do you see? Oh, let's see. Do you see Flash on the screen or no?
But there are some.
I see a blue sky. Now I see Flash.
Okay, thank you. All right, I wanted to go over this animation again so that we're aware of how it works. It's the slideshow that I gave you. And I've got that in my GitHub folder. I don't know if you knew about I talked about GitHub in the discussion last week. I've got my own login, GitHub. And so I have all these different code repositories. And for this class, I actually have a code repository called IU Classes. And in that, I'm actually saving code from various work submitted by students too. So I'm building my own library, and it makes sense for me to share the code with other students. So if you're interested in having your code shared with other students, let me know, and then I can actually help you access them in my GitHub repository, which is open. So let me know if you're interested in sharing your.
Can anybody apply for that?
Yeah, it's actually free.
Okay.
And what do you see on the screen right now?
The playlist for DES
Okay.
365.
Yeah, this is how you do. You go to github.com, and this is free, and you can set up a profile, and it's free. It's kind of like a social media website for code, and you can have people that you follow, and just like you can on social media. And you can create your own code repositories, like here. And this is how I've set up. And I mentioned it's free. You can even create your own repositories here. And the list of repositories that I've created are nine of them here. And so I have this one code repository right here. Right now I haven't uploaded anything, but once I do, then it will be available to anybody. And so what you do is you get your own profile, and then you just follow me, find me. Kind of like finding somebody on Facebook.
Facebook of social media code.
Yeah, that's what this is. So github.com, Chip Brown. And then you'll be able to see all my code repositories. And you'll see, and then you can just click follow. And then you'll be following me. And these are people I follow. And what that does is I actually am monitoring any time that they submit things. And so on my home page, I have a running log. This is like Facebook, the updates. So
Yeah.
this is a running log of all the changes being made to the code repositories that I'm currently watching. And so I can either watch people, I can follow people, or I can watch code repositories. And so these are some of the code repositories that I'm part of. And this is a running update of all the changes, who made the change and the change that they made. And so that's my running update there. And so these are mine. And I'm watching. Let me see if I can show you how I can see all the ones that I'm watching. I've got one follower. So you just click on follow if you want to follow back. Let's see here. How do I see all the ones all the code repositories that I'm following? Let's see here.
I mean, or we just send an email. She gave Megan Ward. Megan Ward moved over there.
These are the ones I've contributed to. These are the ones that belong to me. These people I'm following, these are who following me. Where are the ones that I'm following? The list of modules that I'm following. So these are all mine. Public, private sources. I actually don't know how I can list the ones that I'm following.
And then the other ones are, I got your email. Well,
Huh. Isn't that funny? Because I'm following several of them. I'll do that during the break. I'll figure out what, because this is the updates to everything that I'm following. But I just want to see where I can give you a list of the particular code repositories I'm following. So your profile. Anyways, so the reason I bring all that up is because I'll be able to share with you the code, my own code library. So, okay, so let's get back here. And I will open up this slideshow. This is the one that I shared with you. And I want to just make sure that you understand how this slideshow works. It is a container of a module. If we look at the library here, you can click on that library, open this up. If you want, you can drag this and pin it to your toolbar, vertical toolbar here. So this is the movie clip that is underneath. So I double clicked on the symbol, and we're going into edit mode now. And this is a new timeline because it is a symbol. It has its own timeline. See, that's a movie clip right there. And all symbols, whether they be graphic symbols, button symbols, movie clip symbols, all get their own timeline. And what that means is they will do as time goes on, they will do what they're told to do on their timeline. The objects involved on the different layers will do their animations or whatever on their own timeline. So, but again, you can see we're inside the picture. If we come back out to scene 1, then this is the timeline for scene 1. So you don't see the timeline for this. I had to double click on this symbol in order to bring this up. So, and if you scrub this, you can see the actions layer right there. There's a little A. What that means is this frame has code associated with it. And there's a little A, little A, little A, little A. So each of these have extra coding associated with it. And these are animations that are taking place here. And one, it's a fade in, and another image is a fade out. So we've got a picture with an animation, another picture with animation, but this picture actually is going to fade in and then fade out. And this one is just going to fade out. So as you scrub, you'll see what I mean.
I'd like to have something like that for the whole company that works with every department.
So fades out, while the other one fades in. You can do that with alpha or its opacity. Then at this frame, it encounters some code. So let's go look. In fact, what I should have, before we took off on our journey on the timeline, I should have looked at this code first. So let's do that. If you want to look at code, window, actions. And here's the code. This panel here, you can see that actions frame 1 is scene 1, frame 1 is, that's the other scene 1, but here the picture frame 1, so this is different. This is the picture symbol. That's the actions layer. See that right there? Actions layer, frame 1. So that's right there. And this is all it does. This dot stop. Okay. And then when you scrub, you come over here. Well, actually, I can just double click on it here. And in there on frame 24 of the actions layer on the picture, it does another stop. Then frame 48, another dot stop. And then frame 72. And then frame 96. So this one's different. This is a go to and stop. Now, just to remind you, these code snippets, if you can't remember the coding, you can actually come, this is a Canvas HTML5 document. So right here, stop at this frame. This is the one, this is the code snippet that does the this dot stop. In other words, that right there.
Okay.
So that code snippet is that one, the one that this generates. So there's a one-to-one relationship there. Now this one here, frame 96, you are actually go to frame and stop. So that right there is this code snippet right there. and frame 0 is the very beginning. So there's a stop and a stop and a stop and a stop and then a stop. Actually, this is a go-to, jumps back to here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps back. Now, if you've got more images, you can add to the animation, introduce more, and do the fade in, fade out. Some students are actually doing something similar to this, where they are moving their image in and then moving it out rather than fading in, fading out.
Okay, I have a question. When you have a button, you go to the event handlers, right?
Yeah, and there's no buttons right here yet. This is just an animation with stops. So to get to the, if you come out of the picture, and then at this level, you can see that this animation does have buttons. And let me see if I can show them to you. In fact, why don't let me grab this, drop that. So here, you click on the, got these on the buttons layer here.
Okay.
Buttons. And let's do a Windows properties, Command F3. And so I've clicked on this, and this is a symbol, and its a type is movie clip. It's an instance of button, and it's got its own name, next_BTN.
So is that what I have wrong, that my buttons aren't working? They're not movie clips, they're regular buttons.
Oh, and who is that talking?
It's Kelly.
Oh, okay, Kelly. Let's give that a try, because a movie clip is actually the most robust symbol that you can have. It can be animated, and it can become interactive. So we can work with that when I'm done here.
Okay.
Now this says instance of button. Now I don't want that to confuse you, because if you, I just do this, let me do that again. Window properties. What I want to do is grab it and then drop it right there. So here's our library. That's the instance name.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the instance name. This is kind of like, this is the symbol that it came from.
Okay.
And this you will find in the library, whereas this you will not find in the library.
That's just the name of the button.
That's the instance name out on the stage.
Okay.
You always have to give it a, basically you give it its lineage. I use that word kind of like a genealogy term. And the lineage meaning that it belongs to the button symbol. So let's go and look at the library and look for the button symbol. There it is. So it is a, so that is actually a button itself. It's a type button. So what we have done is we've dragged out the button, and then the instance we converted into a symbol, and it is, and gave it a name. So we dragged the button out, and then clicked on it, and converted it to a symbol, and then gave it a name of next_BTN. So that is the unique name, and our actions, our scripts will refer to this name.
Okay.
And this name has to be unique in your animation, completely unique. So we have we converted it to a symbol, and then we made it a movie clip type. The minute that we converted it to a symbol, even though its parent is a button, it pulled out on the stage has become converted to a symbol, and then we changed it to a movie clip type. Same thing goes for this button over here. If you click on that and click on properties, you'll see that it's got its own name, pre button. It also has the same parent, if you will, and it too is a movie clip. So now look at the code for this particular frame. And this picture MC, that's actually the picture movie clip that was created. It's basically this one right there. And that's for this stage, this layer. You turn it on, turn it off. The overlay itself, you'll see that if I turn everything else off, that's just a white overlay. That's the only thing that's on that layer. So this inside area belongs to the picture. You know, the buttons, we can turn those on and off. They both are on that level. And then we've got our actions right there. There's nothing to view on the actions layer except for the code. And in order to view the code, we just click, well, we can click here now because we dragged that panel over here and let it anchor. So we click here, and keep in mind that we're going to be looking at all the code here. We have this little index right here, and right now we're interested in scene 1. That's scene 1. Actions layer, frame 1. And like I said before, this is different. This actions frame 1 is different for the picture. Is on its own timeline. Actions frame 1 for the scene 1 is this one here. So I can click on it right there directly. So I will not be seeing any of this code here because that belongs to the other symbol, the picture symbol. So I just have this one frame right there, and then these are the code snippets, and I'll show you I'll show you exactly what code, here we go, code snippets. I'll show you exactly which one that is pertaining to. It is actually pertaining to event handlers. And when you're talking about interaction, this is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
These are the command snippets that pertain to interactivity. And mouse click event is the one that we're using. But because we have two buttons, you're going to see that this is going to be used twice. One for this button, and then the other for this button. So, and we're going to do it all in the same location. So let's go back into the code actions. And so what we have here is this one is the wiring up of the button, and its job is to set up a more or less an event handler, an event watcher. And in the case that what this says is set it up as an event listener, and that's basically saying you want to make this thing, this is a movie clip, you want to make that movie clip susceptible to the actions of a person's mouse, such that if the mouse click event occurs on you, then you do something. And so we're listening for the click event to take place on the next button. This wires it up. This is actually a function that all this code comes from that code snippet that we showed a minute ago. And it will show you this. It will do this line plus this line, and this one goes with this one down here. So what this says is, okay, next button, we're wiring you up. We're adding an event listener so that you're going to pay attention that in the case that some somebody clicks on you, you're going to grab control, and you're going to take that control and pass. It's kind of like passing the control. It's like you've got it in your hand. It's almost like getting a handoff with a football. You catch it, and that's what this is going on. You're going to catch it, but then you're going to like throw a lateral or pass it, the control, to another function. And that's this one here, play button. So what it's doing is it's saying, okay, I got it, and now I'm going to pass the control over to this function. And so the name of the function is right there, and there it is. And you don't have to type this in because the code snippet automatically does this for you. But by the time it gets here, it already knew. It's kind of like it set up a trap. The next button is almost like a booby trap, or it's like spring loaded. And the minute somebody clicks on it, it grabs control, just like a trap would, and then it holds onto that control and passes it right here. And right here, it's saying, okay, movie clip that is on my screen, you start playing. That's actually a function call. And if you look at the code snippets, it would be, I would have expected it here as one of the, it's kind of like the opposite of stop. So I was expecting to see it in that list. So I'm now looking for it. Why don't they have a play? To go to web page, play a movie clip. I don't know if that's it. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly the code snippet that was used to get that play a movie clip. Next button, play. Yeah, that's it. There's the play right there. Now, I just accidentally, I double clicked on that just to see what the command was, and sure enough, that is it where you find it. So this is saying, okay, slide movie clip, you start playing. And so it throws the ball to the movie clip now. And the movie clip has the ball and the control, and it starts off. And so let me show you how that works. So it then takes off. It grabs control. And it's kind of like bringing somebody onto the stage and says, okay, do your act now. That's essentially what's going on. I pass the microphone to John Doe, who's going to now do his act. And that's what this slideshow is going to do. And it will start going. And then it'll go. And then right here, it will stop. And because it was told to stop, it's scripting. So the scene one threw control to the picture movie clip, and it took the ball and it went as far as it could go until it hit a stop, and that's a stop right there. Now, in doing that, when we hit a stop, what happens is that this stopped clip now throws its control back to the scene one, and now we're back in the position to do it again. So the first image would show, fade out, fade in, and then the control would be coming back. And so then we'd come back to this code. And once again, it's waiting. It's got this wired up. So the control was passed to the movie clip. The movie clip, it's like throwing a pass to a receiver on a football field. You throw the pass, he runs, and then he gets tackled, basically stopped, and then the ball gets reset back into the hands of the quarterback. And that's what's happened here, because now, essentially, the quarterback has two receivers, and it's now up to him to click either the next button or the previous button. And so it stops, it's waiting, and then because these are wired up, if he clicks the next button, or let's go with the previous button this time. So now the previous button, which is this one here, in the case that the person clicks the previous button, it will come to this function here. By the way, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, so then.
Now, when you're doing each action on a different frame for it to stop, like I have different locations where I have the next button, do I have to put a stop function on each one of those spots before it does the actual click button?
Well, it kind of goes in that sequence that I was telling you. You throw the ball to the movie clip that starts running until it stops, and then and then the ball goes back to the quarterback. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So when it comes back to the quarterback, which is he plays in scene one, his receivers are down in the picture. And here, if it's a previous button, what this is doing, now this is go to and stop. So what's happening is that the play goes forward and you can see the animations take place. But the previous button, what it does is it jumps. It goes, this is a go to and stop, and you remember which one that was here of the code snippets. It's this one, go to frame and stop. That's the code snippet that we're looking at now. The go to and stop. But that's the key thing that I want to explain to you, because once again, we're talking about the slideshow. Now there's a property, an animation property associated with the slide, with the movie clip. And what that means is current frame. So what this is meaning is when I throw, it's almost like what yard did you get to? When I throw the ball to the receiver, he takes off and he gets stopped right there. Now the question is, what frame are you on? And it would be, it's almost like the 47-yard line. That's as far as he got. And so, so the movie clip, this picture movie clip or slide, it's called slide_MC. The current frame is at the minute that the receiver gets tackled, quote unquote, or stopped, he's at 47. So come back to, and he gives the ball back to the quarterback, quote unquote, and let's go look at the code. And so that's what this is telling you. What's your current yard line? What yard line did you get to? And it would be either 24 or 48 or what is it? 48 plus 24.
So whatever that frame is at right now, and then it'd be minus 24 to go back to the previous frame.
Right.
Previous picture.
Right. And we're telling it, okay, wherever far you got, we want you to subtract it, whatever that, let's say we're at 48. Then we take 24 off of that, and we want you to, that'd be 24. And what we want you to do is go to and stop at frame 24. So we're telling our team we've got to go back 24 yards. So so we're telling the slideshow that's your next order. Go back 24 yards. So it's like a 24-yard loss. So what happens is what was the current frame here? Because we have to go back, we've lost yardage. We go back to there. Because if we'd advance to 48, okay, now it's getting too loud, so let's take a break, okay? Let's take a 10-minute break, and I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Okay, so the ball gets handed, and if we have to go back, we calculate that current frame, and then we subtract 24, and then we stop. So if we had gotten this far, we would come back here and stop. If we'd gotten this far from the previous time we started, then we'd come back here and stop. Because you'll go back here, but because we hit here, we're going to also stop. It's not like we're going to just take off again, because if the second we come back to here, is the next instruction is, okay, stop. So, and then likewise here, stop. And for here, we actually, because this one goes back to frame 0 and stops, that's where it goes. So let's go look at that again. So this, you get to here, and this is not a stop here, but actually a stop over here.
Because we want to be up in line.
So when this is going, it'll go hit here and then stop right there. Okay, so now let's go back to the scene 1. And as you can see, this is kind of like it's a team that we're giving directions to. Come back here, look at the code. This is the scene 1 code. And so that's this one right here, scene 1, actions, frame 1. Scene 1, actions, frame 1. And this all takes place right on this one thing. By the way, this right here is called a variable. And we could just have put this dot slide MC and put it down here. But this is putting.
Do you need to have the VAR in there?
Yeah, for this example, yes. If we didn't do that, we would have to be explicit down here and say this dot and this dot. What this does is it makes it so we don't have to type in this is all over the place.
Okay.
We just do it once, and we associate the object, the movie clip called slide_MC, and we associate that with a variable. And by doing that, we don't have to put this dot when we use it, because we've created a new variable that stands alone. This is kind of like a global variable. So we can use it wherever we want. And we always know that it's actually referring to the slideshow movie clip that is associated with the document object model this. So you can see it there too. There's this. The reason why we have this in there is it's basically saying, points to me, meaning the thing that's going on. This is all JavaScript right here. And this is how a JavaScript page, in fact, I'll show you really quickly what I mean. Each of these tabs is a different this. If I create a new session, I've got another this.
All right.
And so if I reference something on this, it's referring to this document object model that's going on here. If I click on here, then this becomes the active document object model. The browser is only dealing with this one at a time. When you click on the tab, that means, oh, I'm now going to be dealing with this. And that's the same thing that goes for this. The reason why we have this, it's referring to my session or my browser tab or my browser window. And so now let's go, and I want to show you here the I want to show you how the movie clip gets on here. So we're on the movie clip, picture MC layer. So that's the name of the layer. Now right now I've selected something. Let me ask you a couple questions, and I want everybody to answer. You can either chat your answer, or you can chat your answer, or you can say it out loud. Either one. So, what is the name of this? The thing that's selected right now.
Is it slide_MC?
Yes, that's right. So this is selected, and there's its name right there. Okay, what kind of thing? Everybody answer. What kind of thing is it that's selected?
A movie clip?
Good. Just type okay. This, in fact, Kelly, why don't you do this? Why don't you go ahead and type in your answer? That way everybody can type in their answer and do it about the same time. So the thing that's selected, good, is a movie clip. And what is its name? It's given this name, Slide Under MC. So this is the name that the scripts are using to communicate with it. So remember that Slide_MC? When you look at the code,
The only thing I have
see that? It's referencing Slide Under. See that right there? That is saying, hey, you know that thing that's on your stage called Slide Under MC? Hey, I want to talk to that thing. It's kind of like, hey, you know that thing on your stage called next_button? I want to talk to that thing. I want to hook that up. Same, previous button. I want to hook that up. Well, I want to hook up with the Slide_MC. So this thing, that is referring to this particular object right here. And this object is properties. So let me ask you this. Everybody answer. Is this object, let me say it this way. What is this object an instance of? Specifically, what is this object, what is this symbol, what is this movie clip an instance of? If you don't know, just put a question mark. And if you're guessing, just put your guess followed by a question mark. What is this movie clip an instance of? Anyone know? Everyone?
And I told you, I don't know if I told you.
Okay. So this movie clip right here is an instance of picture. So the answer to my question is, what is this movie clip an instance of? This movie clip is an instance of picture. What that means is if you look in the library, you'll see picture here. Now, this is not sitting here in the library. It's kind of like let's say a template is put in your cupboards, and you're gonna, or like a recipe or something of an object. You say, okay, what I want to do is I need to create, and you just literally you drag this out here, and once you pull it out of the library, it still is a symbol right there. You drag it out here, and the second that it comes out here, you can give it a name. And so that's why when you click on it out here, click on properties, it came from picture. It was dragged out of the library onto your stage, and it was fully intact as its own animation, and it's dragged out here. And once it comes out here, we have to give it a name. We have to give it a name. We cannot refer to it as picture because that's not its name. That's where it comes from, but we cannot refer to picture in our scripting. Once it comes out here, we then have to give it a name, a unique name, and that is the name by which we address it. And so if you look in the code, you can see we're addressing it by that name. So we're talking to just that thing. Here we just grab the variable, but here we say, hey, movie clip, start playing. Wherever you are, you know, whatever yard line you got to, go from there. And then here, when you click on the previous button, it says however far you got, wherever you got, whatever number you got to, take away 24, and then go to there and stop. And so we are talking to it by name. So let's say I wanted to change its name to movie clip, like that. Okay, if I do that and I start to do the animation, will this work? Everybody answer yes or no. I made the change there. And then if I compile and run it, will it work? Everybody answer. Billy, are you there? Okay. So I made the change here, but what I haven't done yet is if I change the name of that movie clip, I've got to come into my code and say, oh, this guy's changed his name. I've got to go with his new name. So I gave it a new name out in my code, but I've got to propagate that name change into my programming or else it won't work. Does everybody understand that? Oh, guess what? I missed one. So that's what you have to do. That's how that's tied together. If I change the name of my movie clip, if I change the name there, then I've got to change the code that points to it. So let's see if we would save it and we would compile it and run it, and it would work. All right, so are there any questions on how this all works? The buttons are on the scene one, whereas the start stop animation is on the movie clip underneath. All right, well, now let's do some exporting because that's what you got to do this week. And file, and then publish settings. And because this is Canvas HTML5, it's going to publish JavaScript HTML5. JavaScript files plus the HTML files. You can set up your own profiles with the settings here, but we'll go with the default. The output file is going to be named the name of our project file, in this case, slide-show, and then put .js, and that stands for JavaScript. If we want, we can click this checkbox to loop the timeline. Here, we default to overriding the HTML that might already have been there from a previous publish. Here, they're giving us the option because it's got to generate different files and put things in places, we can say all the images, you can just store those in a subfolder called images. And here's that checkbox for exporting all bitmaps as sprite sheets. And that's a valuable thing because it helps on interactivity. Sounds could go in there. This right here, Create.js, remember that's the library that the library of JavaScript functions that that Adobe Flash has incorporated. And what the publishing process can do is create, copy the JavaScript files from the Create.js servers and copy them locally and put them in a libs subfolder. These JavaScript namespaces you can just leave as default. And what this means is the any naming that goes on in your coding, in your programming, it will internally append this to those things, so that this would be the folder where they are, but any naming you can change it to however you want, just for the namespace. A namespace basically means it's kind of like you go into one house and there's a family that lives there, and everybody's got a unique name in that family. But you go next door, and everybody's got a unique name in that family, but there's a possibility that somebody has a different name, excuse me, the same name. Like John may live in our house, but he also, there might be a John who lives next door. So namespace is where within our house, everybody's name is unique, and there's only one John. And so that's how that's what a namespace is called. It's kind of like in our home, we've got one and only one of each person. So that's why Symbols has its namespace, and this is unique here, and so it actually appends it. Kind of like in the Brown home where I live, we've got one chip, but our neighbor down the street, let's say the Johnsons, they may also have a chip, but because they have a different name, my name would be Brown, theirs would be Johnson, then the names become unique within the context of our animation, because these unique namespaces are appended to those. And anything here, you can hosted libraries. The word library in this context is very much like our code snippet library that we talked about last week. And then including hidden layers, compact shapes, multi-frame. These are actually just advanced, and that's out of the context of our conversation tonight. I click publish, and this is the output window. There are warnings. Warnings aren't too important to worry about. This is just another warning. Frame, this easel.js, what that is that's the easel library from the Create.js modules, JavaScript modules. That's the easel.js one. And they're just saying, oh, by the way, the timeline actually starts at frame 0 instead of 1. And so when you do a go to and stop, you would be going to and stop at 0 if you want to go to the first frame. So then click OK. Now, let me see if we can go find it. Went down the wrong one. Back up. So you can see there's an images folder, and that's tied directly to the publish setting that we looked at a moment ago. That images folder, and that's what this is here, images folder. Double click on that, and there's the images that are associated with our slideshow. And we won't go into this one right now. It's a JSON file, and that's actually a data file. And then here, images, we don't have any sounds, no sounds folder. Lives, there's the lives folder. And double click on that, and this is all these are the JavaScript libraries. This is like big code snippet libraries. If you were to open them, let's see if I can show you what they might look like. It's a little bit hard to read that because this is actually called minimized, and this is hard to read because what they've done is they've pulled out all the white space, and they do that because it just makes it a more compressed file. Now, if I expanded this and reformatted it, it would make it much more readable. The good news is you don't need to worry about any of this coding because it's the makers of Create.js. Remember that? I hope you remember when I showed you this. It's the makers of the Create.js. They're the ones that created these different libraries of code snippets. And right here is where they all are. So if you look, there's the Easel.js, and there's Easel.js. And I don't know what that one is. So the WebGL library. Here's Movie Clip. And it's not one of those yet. So let's go back. Preload.js. There it is there. And Tween. There's Tween. Now, because we didn't use any sound, it felt no need to download this file. By the way, this is all JavaScript code. And if you want further documentation, you can go to this website and click here and then click here. And this actually is the full library of functions that you can call. With the way we're doing things, our code snippets are only just calling a couple minor ones, but here's a long list of things that you can, if you ever get into customizing the JavaScript code, you can come here to learn more. So Tween is here. This is for doing animation. And then sound, these are the functions. If you ever incorporate sound. Okay, so let's come back up one level. That's all happening in there. You don't have to touch that. It gets generated automatically, but your files are dependent upon that. It's almost like you're dependent upon like a Flash player. Your animations could not do what they're doing if it weren't for these files here. So to a certain extent, they are dependent, or not to a certain extent, they are completely dependent upon Create.js. And so these have to go with you. Your animation is dependent upon this folder because any calls in your, in fact, it's a little bit mixed up. I'm going to, well, anyways, any, I should have just had this in its own folder. Because if we were to open up another one in FlashFile and we do a publish, we're going to overwrite these. That's the value of putting them in their separate folders. So we got live images and assets. This is some of the WebGL stuff if it felt like you were going to be doing some 2D or 3D. So images are all here. We added them from here, but because we did that and we brought them into, we imported them into the library. Then when we turn around and do an export of the slideshow or publish, it will take a copy of these and put it in our images folder. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'll show you how it would be best to organize something like this. We'll call this slide show, and everything that was part of that we'll just put down in there. And this is how you might, yours might be already organized, but I'm going to just basically move the studio. I'm going to move these folders in there too, because that's part of the output. These other ones are associated with these. You can, you could, put those in there. And then haven't gotten symbols. I'll just create a new folder for symbols. So just doing a little cleanup housekeeping here. I'll create one for HTML5 dog. This is kind of how you would do your code snippet library. 5. Now this one, I'm just going to toss that one because that's actually a backup. And I'm just going to move that to trash. And arrange by auto name. Now, just give me 1 minute while I show you very briefly, as you create your code snippet library on your Mac. I'll show you how to do it on the Mac, and then if you want, I can talk about Windows too. But it's a thing called Terminal, and I'll show you how I work with it. You can do a command space and type in Terminal, hit enter, and then this comes up. Now this is a little bit advanced, but for those of you who are interested in the code repository system like GitHub, and I created a GitHub folder, and then I that's my Windows days. CD means change directory. So essentially what I'm doing is on a command line here. This is a Linux or Mac OS X command line. I have gone from, I'll show you what I just did. I started off right here. These files are normally hidden, but because I've got them revealed, you can see them. So let's pretend like they're not there for now. They're actually there, but when they have a dot at the beginning of them, they're actually hidden if you do a listing of your directory here. So I want to show you. I just went from the top, Chip Brown, into GitHub, and then from GitHub I did a CD or change directory down to Chip Brown. So that's what I'm doing here. And then if I do an ls for list files, that's the command in Mac. there's all these folders. Now, if I do an ls-al, then you can see it's the whole list here. So with all the dates and times, these are access privileges, who created it, who's got access to it, how big it is, date it was created. So these are actually folders. You can see the D. The D means directory. If there's not a D there, that means it's a file. This is actually a hidden file. And then I'm going to go down to TS and do ls to list what I've got there. Now, I want to show you really quickly. I'm using that GitHub, and so I've made all these changes locally, and so I do git status, and this is telling me what I've done. All that moving around I did up in here, this is the effect of it. And Git is my code repository. It's for your code snippet library, and it's known, it's aware that I've done all this moving around. And if I move it, that means it's deleted. However, it also knows that I've added these folders in this area. So if I do a thing called a git add, and then a dot is a wildcard, what that means is all the changes that you see that I've made, I want you to make them part of my changes that I want to save in my code repository. That's a git add dot. And then I do a git status, and now they're green. So it says, okay, now what used to be red, and now I know this is what you really want to do. So then you do what is called a git commit. And what that does is it is going to, and this is a message to tell it what you want to do. And so I just save that, and then I do a git push. And so what this is doing is it's taking all my changes and it's uploading it to my GitHub account. So now when you come into my GitHub account, all those changes that were taking place on my local hard drive, if you go up in here, and you can see now they've reflected up here in the cloud. So I've taken the file structure off my hard drive and I pushed it. That's what the git push means. It says, okay, take what I've got and move it to my online system. So now anybody who's following me will notice that I just made some changes. And so they would get a little update in there. It would say, Chip Brown just made a commit to this, if you were following me. And then you could come look at it. You could come look at the change that I made. And you would see that I've restructured it now. And so now you've got all these files in there. Technically, you don't really want to, this slideshow, the assets and so on, I've actually committed the output because this is output and this is output. But generally speaking, you don't want to commit output as part of your code repository. You only really need to save the project files because I'm kind of vacillating back and forth. This is the output. This is the published output. So if anybody wants to go do this, and instead of publishing it to the, submitting, and you instead want to create your own repository and upload it, just let me know and I'd be happy to help you out on that. Okay, so that was very advanced, but that goes along with the code snippet library, and it goes along with my post last week from the discussion group. You don't need to worry about that for your own submission. You can just submit it the old-fashioned way, which is using you would have like the output, and you just do a like a right click. Let me get rid of this one. I thought I got rid of it. Maybe I didn't. See, just by doing that, let's see if it knows that I just did that. Get status. A get fetch is what says go check with my online one. Yeah, it didn't. I guess. Anyway, so there's a slideshow, and you could just do a right click and then compress, and there actually would be two subfolders, one for mobile, one for desktop, and then you would submit that in the Dropbox. All right, so that's how all the programmers out there in the world are communicating. GitHub is very popular to communicate updates and code snippet libraries to each other. Okay, so back to that was a little bit of a tangent, but back to the published settings that we were talking about earlier. Oops, right there. And so, given that it is an HTML canvas, it's giving us just the HTML canvas options here. So let me see if I can bring up I'm looking for the Swift file one. These are all HTML canvas. Oh yeah, that's because that's exactly what I had put in this folder, all HTML5 canvas. Anyways, I'll look for a Swift file, then I can show you how to export using that. But remember what I said, the challenge is if you had started off your project with ActionScript, if you started off your project in week 2 with an ActionScript, and then your challenge this week is to move your project into a HTML5 canvas so that the output is HTML5 canvas. And so I challenge you to do that. Okay, well, that's all of the lecture I had planned. We still have some time left. And, oh, yeah, I still want to show you I'm not done actually. I still want to show you the exporting to the Swift file. Well, I apologize. I'm going back and forth here. I had forgotten that that the challenge is to convert or move your project into an HTML5 canvas. So, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And what questions can I help you with? Oh, while you're typing it in, I'm just going to look here and see these different templates. Something I didn't talk about this mod is the templates. The place I got there is File, New, and then there's the templates right here. And these are actually built-in templates of various things. This is for ads. There's a template for, oh, actually, I talked about these in my discussion last week, discussion post. Error for Android. Error is that's the, I can't remember what error stands for, but it's basically the Flash player, quote unquote, for, and that would be Swift file type animations, ActionScript 3, for smartphones. Here's some animations, and here, an animated button highlight, so button text glow. So that's a glowing movie clip button with visited state. So the template instructions here is like a guide layer, not exported with Swift. Now, as you can see, this is an ActionScript 3 template. And the reason why I know that is because it doesn't say Canvas here. But you can't mix and match. You can't use the buttons of an ActionScript 3 in a project that's a Canvas project. So this would be like for your information only. So click on it, click on Properties. There it is right there, MyMC. If you want to click on the code, or on frame 1, there's a little A right there in the Actions layer. And you go click on the code right there, and there's the code. So this button, remember, it's called MyMC. That's its nickname. Its instance name. MyMC.button mode equals true. And we don't have a snippet for that. This is a little bit advanced. We have gone over this one though. We're saying instead of the word this, we're actually now saying, oh, right there in the movie clip, we want to add an event listener to that movie clip. So the whole thing becomes its own event listener. And this is, remember how we used to have the word click? Well, that was JavaScript. But if we're using this ActionScript 3, then it would be mouse event.click. So that's what you have to type in if it's ActionScript. This is ActionScript right here, all this. And the reason I know that is because this is an ActionScript 3 file. So mouse event.click is what we would put there. And put the same thing there. That's a function, FL on click, and so we jump down to here. And then so we also, so if it's clicked, you do that. If you move the mouse out of the button, it's kind of like your mouse over and moves out, then you want to do here. So these are events. So just so you know, the commands that we're the code here now is not coming from this group because that's for HTML5 Canvas. It's now actually coming from this group here. And we have event handlers. They correspond. You can see they're very similar between HTML5 Canvas here. They're very similar categories but these are all JavaScript here. All this is JavaScript and all this is ActionScript. But you can see there's almost a one-to-one relationship. Remember how we said you can't do all the things you can do? All the things you can do in ActionScript, remember we said it a couple times, you cannot yet do all that in HTML5. So that's actually a HTML5 and JavaScript. It's actually an admission of we don't do it all yet. In other words, the Flash player and the Flash and the ActionScript actually still are out in front. You wouldn't think it though because there's so much negative press. But the fact is the technology is superior to what can be done right now with HTML5 Canvas and all those Create.js functions. So the one that I wanted to show you is this event handler. And there's the mouse click event. So if the code that's associated with this mouse click event, it's the same right here. See that mouse click? We're setting up the wiring for the mouse click event. So we'd have that plus that. That would be part of that mouse click event. See this mouse out event? That one is associated with mouse over mouse out event right there. So we've got both things going on. We're wiring it up to be clicked, and we're wiring it up for when the mouse goes out. So back to the code. We've got that. This is a variable. Visited equals false. So visited, we're actually going to take this little flag here, the visited flag, and so it's going to say, oh, by the way, you just clicked on me. That's the trace. That's kind of like the alert in the JavaScript, but in ActionScript they call it trace. And here, it's a variable. We're actually setting it to true. In the case that that we've clicked on this, it's going to come here. Actually, we'll pass that automatically. You don't need to worry about that. and it'll say, hey, you just clicked on me. And it says, oh, by the way, I'm going to set a little variable. This is a global variable. I'm going to set that variable to true because I'm going to take advantage of it here in just a minute. So if we click on it, then this will take place. The second that we move our mouse out of the button, in other words, off the button or away, it's going to say, oh, grab control. They just moved away, and that is grab control, jump down here, and then it says, okay, here's a little if statement. If it's been visited, that's what this means, visit equals true, then go to place on the timeline called visited and stop. You can either use frame numbers in here, or you can actually use labels. So, but it's for the movie clip. And let's collapse this. In order to get to the movie clip, I'm going to do a single click on this and just to play properties. Now, here's the question for everybody. What is this an instance of? What is this movie clip an instance of? Everybody answer. If you don't know, just put a question mark. Come on, Billy, you can do it. Yeah, 3 for 3. Excellent. So what is the name of this instance? Everybody answer. Excellent. 3 for 3 again. You guys are doing great. Okay, so that's the name of the instance, and it comes from main button. If we go on and look in the library, we can see there it is right there. Now, if we double click on main button, we're going to go into its timeline. Oops, you got to double click the gear. Forgot about that. We'll go into its timeline. This is a new timeline. It's associated with this symbol, and there's the timeline here. So this is a button up, over, down, and visited. So this is a different way of doing buttons. This is all ActionScript based. So in the up, if you scrub this, it's really just the states. Visited, you can see it changes color. All right, so we're in the main button. So we come back out to scene 1, and let's do this. We'll this is a little bit like the quarterback here at this level, and we have the team ready to do the animation at that level. So let's do this. We'll do a, I'm going to publish it this time. Publish settings. I'm just going over this just because, you know, in case you run out of time and you don't do the HTML5 canvas. So this is going to become a Swift file. Now this is going to be dependent upon either the Flash player or eventually we can create a single project file. And this is what it creates. If we click OK. Now let's browse out to that folder. Let me save it first. I think I'll put it in here. Samples. And let's put it here. Let's go ahead and say ActionScript 3. Button. Click Save. And let's do that again. File, Publish Settings, we'll just default. There's SWF. Click publish. And then click OK. And so now, oh, I keep going right when I should go left. So now we have, this is where I did it, ActionScript, and there it is right there. The SWF, this is a container HTML. It just contains an object to the SWF. So if we double click on this, this is not the same as the output as the HTML that we saw a moment ago, but see, click on it, see how it's kind of, watch what happens when I move out. So move in, mouse over, it has that behavior. I click on it. If I move out, it stops. So the second that I move out, it is, sorry, I keep going left there. It's doing this action right here, mouse out. It jumps down here, and it just sets this to visited, or jumps to the label called visited in the see it right there. So that's the label visited, and it jumps there in that code. Okay, well, it's about time to end. What I'd like to do, I wanted to show you this example just because the publish settings are different. And for a Swift file, if you run out of time and can't get it done to, then that you can just do if you create the ActionScript 3, that is, then you can just do this output. And here, if you then change the output to this error for Android and an error for desktop, you can output either of those two, and those would be error-based. Let me show you here in the week 4 assignment. Here we are asking that you convert to HTML5 canvas if you did ActionScript 3, convert to HTML5 canvas. And then here, however, we are saying Adobe Air. So, so this Adobe Air is what this is referring to right there. And so this would be for your mobile. So smartphone standalone app needs to be saved as Adobe Air. That is if you're ActionScript 3 or WebGL document, and that is if you're HTML5 canvas. So, so then you would have an output file. Let's do that. ActionScript Air. You click, see, I'm going to call this Air. Publish. Now we have more things. This is going to be an app that would go to your mobile phone. And so this is if you want any kind of encryption on that. And you can just go with the default. This is the thing that's going to be created. An APK file. This is the file that you can submit in your, you know, if you are using ActionScript, then you can submit the APK file. If you're just using HTML5 canvas, then you can just submit a WebGL document. And then you click OK or publish and then OK. It's not gonna, I need to do a certificate. If you want, you can just create a fictitious one. See how many it's how many. This is for encryption, actually. Hmm. If I fail at getting this just right, and I'm not going to require it of you guys. Just going to make up a password. Because they want your stuff. I just put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, there might be some permission errors that you run into. And if that's the case, then I'm not going to require it of you. This, once you create the file, if anybody doesn't experience the same thing I experienced, then let me know how it worked, because I can't create this. One thing I might just try is, I haven't been able to create it, so if you guys figure that, if you guys get it to work too, please just let me know what you ended up doing, because I haven't figured out why mine won't generate. So you put publish and it'll create an APK file, and so that file will be here in this folder. The APK file is what you would upload to the like Google Play Store. So that we just went over publishing, publish settings, publishing, and here the assignment: desktop, smartphone, and then the standalone. That's the thing that I was just working to create. And what I think I'll do is make it that so that this, because I wasn't able to figure out what was wrong on mine, I'll just make this I'll make this requirement. I think I can give extra credit. Anyways, I won't make a lot. I think what I'll do is I'll grade it on these first two. That's what I think would be fair, because I haven't been able to overcome that, and I know that this is that is for we're giving you directions for an ActionScript 3 file. I'm going to close this for now. I think I've got a dialogue up. Yep, another. It's underneath another thing. So I think we moved that. Let me go back to the slideshow, because I just want to double check the different settings here, publish settings. It doesn't go into WebGL here. So I'm just going to grade on the first two. And this one will just share with me what you discovered doing that, because the WebGL is actually these are the template files for these three. WebGL is actually this one here, and if we're having you do that, then you're not needing to do this. So this is WebGL. Okay. So just worry about number 1 and 2. All right. Well, I think it's definitely time for us to call it a night. If you want to stay and let me share my screen here. Oh, anyways, it's trying to come up. If you want to stay and we can work on your project, that's fine. I'm going to shut off the recording and start processing that and upload that to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for coming. And if you have if you're stuck or and you can't meet with Misty, please reach out to me, and I'll do what I can to help you. I'm going out of town this weekend, so I won't be able to help out on Friday night and Saturday until late. So hopefully I can catch you tomorrow sometime if you have any questions. Okay. Well, thank you very much for a good Ahmad. I appreciate your patience as we've worked through our couple of the lynda.com issues, and we're trying to make it work for you. And I really appreciate your patience as we sorted that all out. But it's an exciting time with animation, and we hope that this has been a good class for you. So thanks again. This, so we can get a little bit of recording of our lab time together.
Okay.
So the code snippet that you're using, the function, so you've got on line 13, that's the code snippet that you used in order to do the event handler for your scene1_btn. And so you're asking how do we stop it? And you got it to stop, but now you don't have it to start. Is that correct?
Yeah. Because I know we had last week, I had come to you and we spent like 3 hours trying to get it to stop. Remember? And I had to send you my file and we still couldn't figure it out. I opened it up this week. Now it stops, but I can't get it to play.
Well,
for the next scene.
Why is it? Why? Because the coding for the stop. Let me show me the coding for the stop, because it seems like it's the same coding that we did. I mean,
yeah.
So what did you?
Because I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything different. I left it and I didn't touch it at all on Sunday. I came in on Monday and I went to go work it. And all of a sudden it stopped right where it was supposed to after I put the mouse over event in where it's supposed to click on the next button and it won't click. This is what happens when I go to go test it. And I've had an issue with this all week. And I don't know what to do. It takes forever for it to function. And then I have this little thing that pops up. It tells me that there's a code that's been running for so long. See that?
Hold on one second. Script in the file. You want to continue.
And I hit yes.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay. And that's all it does, right?
And it takes a while for it to load. And then this is what then it comes to here and it will stop. and I can't click this,
Well, that's a good
to-
sign right there.
but it won't go to the next, it won't go to the next page when I click this.
Is it flickering to you? It seems like it's flickering to me.
It is, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's flickering.
Okay. So two things. One, we got to figure out the flicker. And the other thing is it is working. The button's working where you click on it. Let's go into the actions.
Because when I set up the button, I set it to click one, be one color, and then when I click, it turns a different, and then when it comes back, it's another color, and then when it's done clicking, it turns to a different color. So it's like two or three different colors, so you know that you're clicking on the button and you're hovering over it, but it won't click to the next page. So I don't know if I'm supposed to add the click button to go to the next page. I don't know how that works.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you click on it, do you think it's working? That you're at least, is it knowing that you're clicking on it? Yes or no?
I could see hovering. It when I click, it doesn't move to the next scene, so I don't know.
Wait a second. So I ask you just, do you think it knows that you've clicked on it? Just not asking if it goes to the next screen. I'm just saying, just that click. Do you think it's knowing that you've done that? Yes or no?
I think so. I think so.
And what makes you think that?
Well, because I commanded it to go to click. I got the
Right.
code in here for it to click, but it just won't click.
Wait a
I don't
second.
know if I put the snippet in there.
Well, you've got more evidence than what you just said. In other words, you've got more evidence that proves to you you are clicking it. Now, let's go back to, can you go back to run it again and publish it? I'll show you the evidence that you have, that it knows that you've clicked on it, which means your button, at least the click portion, the click event is working. I'm not saying that it's working to play the next thing. That's not the question I'm asking. I'm just saying, does it know that you've clicked it? Just clicked it. And I'll show you the evidence that you have here in just a second as it comes up.
My other biggest thing is it because it's in Google Chrome, is that the reason why it's having an issue? Or do I need to put it in Safari to see if it works?
It's a good idea to test on other browsers, but I don't think that is not the problem behind this. So I'll show you the evidence here. Go ahead and we could have actually just gone to that previous tab and okay, I'll show you the evidence that you have that it knows that you've clicked on it. Right there. That's your evidence.
Okay.
Okay, now see that message there? Can you show me where in the code that is being done? Told to do that. Show me in the code.
Right here.
That's exactly right. So right now you know that the control has been handed off to this function. And the only reason it's been handed off there is because we wired it up. Scroll up a little bit, we'll see where that wiring up is right there. Scene1_BTN. What that is saying is, hey, the button called Scene1, we're wiring up the click. And the fact that you've jumped down into, that's only going to trigger if you've clicked on that particular button. And so it jumps down into the function, and then and it's come, remember, it doesn't do anything about comments. So the 15 and 16, it's as though it's not even there. But
Okay.
17 is not commented out. And so it says, oh, I've got to put up a little dialogue that says mouse clicked. And so you know that at least you're here. Now the question is, what do you want it to do? Instead
Go
of
to the
putting up
next,
right.
go to the next section.
Exactly. Okay, so we have a couple options to do that. Obviously, we don't want to just see a dialogue that says, hey, you just clicked on this mouse. So comment out that line. You want to make that one ineffective. Good. Now we have to introduce something that says proceed. Now let's just brainstorm just for a second about what that something might look like. Here, let me ask you a couple questions. Do you think
Okay.
we have to wire up this button with another wire up? Just say yes or no, doesn't matter. Do you think that's what it's lacking?
I think so.
Okay.
It's saying that we clicked it, and now it's saying, where do we need to go to?
Yeah. So do you think that it needs like a go-to instruction here?
That's what I'm thinking. Now
Yeah.
after seeing the video
Mm-hmm.
and the lecture, I think it needs a go-to button and added onto all the functions.
You're thinking correctly, because that's kind of the next step here. We've got control. It's kind of like the quarterback, like the center, hiked the ball to the quarterback. The quarterback just passed it off to this guy here. And now we have to tell it what we want it to do. And we have to be really specific about what we want it to do. So do you have any ideas of what thing we're telling it to do? What's the thing we want it to do next?
To go to the next scene, which
Okay,
would be
good.
the next frame, which would be 241.
Good. Okay, go up, up, down. You have to stay within this right there. This is the thing you got to be focused on, because we are now telling it where to go.
Go to the frame and play.
You got it. Double click on that. Let's see. Oh yeah. By the way, these things have to be tied to
The button.
Well, we got to be careful now, because here's where it's the button is kind of did its job. It's kind of like it's like the center of our football team. It's done. It's kind of like, okay, thank you very much. You handed the control off to the quarterback. Now the quarterback's now handing it off to the receiver. So believe it or not, the center on our football team did its job. And so now we have to go, okay, what's the thing in our animation here that needs to get the ball? So let's talk about that for a second. Let's just pretend for a moment that the center is done. He did his job. He passed it off to the quarterback. Now the question is, what's the thing that we are telling to go on? What is
This?
This is a little bit tricky here, because we're kind of going, is it a button that we throw the ball to, or is it a frame on the scene? What is the thing that we need to throw the control to, or what is the thing we're telling play? So let me just back up for a second. What's the thing that's causing it to stop? Show me that. Show me the code that says stop all engines.
It just says stop at this right here.
Okay, now think about this and don't think too hard, and don't run away. Stay on this line, and I want you to look at that, and I want you to tell me the effect of this thing. The thing that it's telling to stop is this. Remember that this is kind of a generic term representing this whole animation. It's not talking specifically to a particular movie clip. Whereas in the slideshow, remember, it was called slide_MC. And
Yes.
that was the thing that we're telling to stop and play. Stop and play. Hey, slide_MC dot stop and slide_MC dot play. So we were talking directly to that particular instance. And so, but here, this is kind of a general thing. It's kind of like, instead of telling an individual receiver to stop and start, you know, or be tackled, instead, we're actually kind of saying, we're like the referee. And the referee blows his whistle when it goes, but he blows his whistle when it all stops too. So this is really a general thing. It's like shut the whole thing down, stop it. Or
for the screen, for that screen, for that.
Yeah,
that
we're
frame.
talking the whole thing.
So
Yeah,
if I put it in there, the stop and go to play, it would be for the whole scene.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking that just because this thing shuts the whole thing down, stops everything, you would have a corresponding thing tied to this that would say play. Now the question is, where would you put that? So we've got this dot stop, and so let's just do this. Scroll down to where that message is that you just commented out, and introduce a new line underneath it.
Here?
No, actually right on the same line, yeah, hit enter, yeah, a new line 19, and type in this, THIS, dot play, PLAY, left parenthesis, right parenthesis, and then semicolon. Okay, here's what you're doing, and I'm hoping this will work. Seems like you're having some success on getting it to work. So the this dot stop was up there, but now we're kind of saying, if you have a mouse click and you hand the ball off to me here in this function, then the second we get to line 19, I'm going to say go. I'm kind of like start your engines, you know. So this is my theory, that this is how you will get it to go again. So why don't you save this and then publish it or test it, and let's see if this works. What that means is it doesn't think that, for some reason, this is what happened to us before. I think that this might be, I don't know if this is, what do you call it, the cached, but you did do a save, right? And you did do a recompile. So,
yep.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Go up to your URL up there, click on that up there at the top, just click, and then do a copy, Command C or whatever. Yeah, that works. Now over to the far right, you've got 3 bars. Click on that. Back down under me on your toolbar. Click there and do new incognito window down to. Click there, and then click up at the top and then paste. Do Command V or edit paste, and hit enter. And what we've just done is we've created a new session that just clears out any cache, or, you know, when I say cache, what that means is memory. Your browser kind of has a memory. In order to make it go faster, it keeps track of files, and sometimes it doesn't lose its memory. But if you do a new incognito window, you really are kind of giving your browser a lobotomy and saying, forget everything and start afresh. So let's see if this helps out in we're using your new code.
Huh.
I really didn't expect to see that. Is that slow for you? It just seems like it's slow.
Yeah, it's going and stopping.
Yeah. I don't understand that. Why would that be doing that? I wonder if your computer is busy with something. Guess what?
Yay! Good. I could actually get it to see. Now, why has it got the start there? I don't know. See it? There's two different.
Hmm. All right, let's work on that. So tell me what we just did. And I want you to kind of, well, that's interesting. So you saw one thing, you saw that just by clearing out and doing that new incognito window, you see how it kind of, we basically blanked out Google Chrome's memory of what it was dealing with. Even though we recompiled and reran it, it kind of says, I know exactly what these files are. I just did this just a moment ago. Well, what we're kind of saying is, yeah, we want you to do it again, but as you can see, the browser doesn't always do that. It says, oh, no, I don't need to reload those files. I recognize those. And so in order to force it, we have to do that new incognito window. Do you notice how I got that URL? Had you get that URL, copy it, and then bring up the new incognito window, and then paste it, then hit enter, and you basically are coming up with it's just a brand new, refreshed browser environment. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got you. So describe to me what you just accomplished, or maybe kind of explain it. What was the thing that you did that got it to go, got it to work?
Added that little for it to play. Once we got it to stop, we needed to get it to play again to the next scene.
Right. Good job. That's right. Okay. So you'll have to do that throughout. You know, that's how that will work. Now, the next thing I want to really focus on is why is it giving you the different? Doesn't it kind of go next start or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out because aha. That's why. New, I want text.
Now, what do you have on your two layers there?
Well, I had it.
Can you like turn off one of the layers? Oh, okay, I see it. I see what you're saying. Okay, so it seems like you've left a. See what I think right there it was like saying start.
Yeah,
And
that's what it was. It had. That's why it was flickering like that.
Yeah, frankly, I think that you can. I think you can get by with just doing one frame. I don't think you need frames 2, 3, 4 because it's not doing anything. Oh, unless you want to do some sort of flicker, a different color. I think I just noticed a different color there.
Yeah. That one, this way, because when I clicked it, it was supposed to be, this is when it's in a standstill and it's not being touched. Then when it's a hover over, and then when you click on it, and then when you're done, when you release it, when you hover over it. So when I click this, it turns that dark purple. And then when you click it, it turns this purple. So they know that the button's interactive.
Oh, I see what you're thinking. All right. Well, you might, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, so now you got that figured out. Those are the two issues. It's a little bit late right now, and I need to find out. Are you good for being able to, fix? Are you able to kind of
fix the buttons? Absolutely. Now the next thing I got to do is work on the pictures and get them Now you said to put them in movie clips and then do the hover over.
Oh yeah. So how do you want to do the hover over? Because those images will have to become they'll have to become
Cause see, right, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make this zoom out so they could actually read it, but I
Right.
wasn't sure.
Tell me how you think that should happen.
I was figuring to put it into maybe a movie clip and then zooming it out, because they have a
That's right.
snippet here for the mouse over, but I don't think that's I
Good.
don't know if that's what it would be for the mouse over for it to get bigger.
All right. Well, mouse over. All that's going to do, and we have to be really specific here. The mouse over, it's just going to say all it's worried about right now is just the one thing: somebody put the mouse over me. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
So you need to be really clear about, just as we just a moment ago, we looked at what, the function for mouse click. All it's worried about is that one action, the moment that they click on me. That's it. It doesn't, we had to go in there and say, oh, if they click on you, add this line, this dot play. So you need to realize that those are two different things. So the same thing with the mouse over event. So step number one, you convert it to a symbol. Number two, you got to give it a name, a unique name. Okay. Now, let's go slowly now. So it's got the unique name. Now you've got to introduce the mouse over event. And it's just like you did the mouse click event. And you have to have it selected so that because it won't introduce an action unless you've got an object, or it's actually an instance of a symbol selected on the screen. And then you just do the mouse over. And just like you went into that mouse click function, same thing. Now you've got a function for mouse over. And so let's say we're inside that function of mouse over. What do you think you want it to do? Go really slowly.
I want it to zoom out.
Okay.
So that they could see it.
All right. So here's a couple ideas. One, we can say, hey, thing, you were 200, let's say you were 50 pixels, but now I want you to be 1,000 pixels.
Okay.
Your height is now, or let's say, it can't be 1,000. It would have to be kind of like the size of whatever our screen is. So you're basically saying, okay, we got control because they just did a mouse over. Now the thing we do next is we say, Alakazam, your height is X, whatever the number is. And then the next line down we say, and oh, by the way, your width is X number. So just by mousing over, now you're going to have to introduce, watch this. Mousing over, we're going to say, okay, width and height, you're this. By the way, let's scroll down. Let me see if there's there's a code snippet for this.
Because I know there's the mouse over.
Got that. CHML actions. Load and unload. Let's see. We might have to hard code this. Look at that. Move vertically. Move. If you rotate one, so animate horizontally, animate vertically. See, animates across the stage by updating the Y properties. So that's a dynamic. I've not seen the one for change your size, but don't fear yet, because that's animation. Scroll up. Let's see under actions. Let's see if there's any options there. Go to play. Click to hide an object. Show an object. Click to position an object. Click to display a text field.
What about show an object?
No, that will just turn something else on. Well, frankly, that might not be a bad idea, because you could introduce an object. Oh, that's another option. What you could do is have on your stage, let's see, show an object. Is there a hide an object? You could have a big item. You could have it all blown up as a new item on your stage. And just by mousing over, it would display that other object. You'd have to have that on your stage, like on a, it could be on the same layer actually, but all blown up the size you want it. And just by mousing over the thumbnail, it would send a directive to say, oh, by the way, that big one, just show that. That's maybe what you're needing to do.
Use this.
Yeah, but then the question is, how do you hide it? Because we'd have to have a mouse. See, it's a mouse over that would show it, but then a mouse, what is it called? Mouse away. That would have to make it go away. Mouse out. See the mouse out down there? So mouse over would make it big, go down about, right, down one more, right there. That would, you'd have to introduce another event that the second that we do a mouse out, it would go away, or it would hide that big object. Or you could have it go back to the dimensions. Now, you can see that they haven't incorporated all the functionality from that Create.js library. So I'm going to go to the Create.js website just to see if there is some coding that we could do. Let's see, like properties. Because I kind of liked my idea of just saying, hey, height, in fact, see, what's the name of that thing? Oh.
This is.
Yeah, once you click on it, and let's see your properties. Oh, it doesn't have a name yet. We need it needs a name. Give it a name, whatever you want, something unique. Because everything is going to have its own unique name throughout everything on your.
Now, should it be a button or is it a movie script?
Movie clip. Yep, we can change that to a movie clip. Okay, so see, look at it. It's look at its width. See that? 87 pixels. Height is 66.95. Now let's click on that again, and then go into code snippets, and let's see if we can get it to down one. Okay, so mouse over event is the one we're interested in. Click that. Okay, so there's the copy and paste, the mouse over. Now, instead of line 19, you want to comment that out because we don't care to display a message that we've moused over.
Okay.
A new line. Okay, now with this line, what I want you to do is I want you to tell it to be big. Now, what do you think I mean when I say that?
So you would put this dot AC for the variable. Would I put variable?
You're good. I'm glad you're guessing. That's good that you're not afraid to guess. Okay, scroll up a little bit. Okay. All right. So what is the thing? Yeah, you're doing great. What's the thing we're going to say, hey, get big?
AS dot underscore MC.
That's right. Now we're going to have to add this in there because we haven't introduced a variable that we made it so that we wouldn't have to. So you're going to have to grab this dot AS underscore MC and then grab the dot also. So go grab that and copy it right to there. Copy that. Now come down to where you think you're going to be doing something. Good, good, good. Keep going. You're doing great. Good, good, good. Good, good. Okay. Now, back up one space and delete that dot. And now hit the dot again. Right now. Okay. I was hoping it would prompt us. Now, I want you to type in the property called width, W-I-D-T-H, and then space equals, and then do space 600. We're just going to experiment here. Semicolon. Okay, what I want you to do is that's saying, hey, you are now width is 600. You used to be a little thumbnail, but now I'm going to blow you up. Now, obviously, we might have some issues with pixelation, but let's just try this out. Now, what I want you to do is copy that line 20. Copy the whole line. And now I want you to introduce another new line underneath that. And what do you think I want you to do now?
Height.
Very good. That's exactly right, Kelly. And just for grins, we can keep it. I can see it's kind of a portrait dimension. So let's see, width should be bigger. No, that was right. It's good.
Okay. I always screw that up. E before I.
Yeah. Hey, let's see. H-E-I-G-H-T. That's perfect. Okay, so we're going to make it exactly square. Obviously, that's kind of a portrait. The width, it's a little bit bigger than the height. So let's see. Let's do the width. Why don't you do the width 800? I don't know what the ratio is, but we'll make the width. It looks like a little bit. Okay. Now I'm not guaranteeing this will work, but it's definitely a good stab. So go ahead and save this. Save it and publish it. And we might have to do what we did before. You know how we created that new incognito window.
Okay. If I could get just this portion, so where it zooms out, where we need to, and I could fiddle with the dynamics that way. If I could get this to work, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure how to make it zoom in and zoom out. I wasn't quite sure how to do that.
Yeah. Well, we're trying. We're experimenting here.
Oh, I am glad this is actually working because I was panicking. I'm like, what happens if I can't get the code and it's not working? What am I going to do? I'm going to fail.
Well, I don't know why it wasn't working when we were working on it together.
Yeah, remember we were working on it last week?
Yeah.
And it wasn't, the code wasn't, it just wasn't working.
And then it started working. Huh. Okay, did you do the new? Yeah, good. Good. I like it that you're doing the new incognito window. Good job.
It's a little slower than what I would like it, but at least it's going where it needs to.
I don't know why it's slower. There's another thing you could do. You can do like a hard refresh. I think you hold down the shift key and hit F5 or something like that.
I forgot to put that in. I gotta go back. Where are we at? Now let's see if it works. All day I was like going nuts. I thought I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Well, you are getting right down to the nitty gritty details of how animating works and how interactivity works. You really are. You're getting right down to the slow tweaking that needs to happen, and with the behaviors that you're doing. So that's good.
Not many teachers, there's a few teachers that will actually stay after and help. And I'm so grateful to have you help me after class extra to, because I am just like, I was like, I'm not getting, I just couldn't figure it out.
I'm so relieved that it's working though, I was so frustrated last Saturday. I'm going,
Oh, I know it was.
how it's supposed to work. I'm doing exactly how it works for me. So,
And I had to, and then I couldn't figure out what the code, this thing was, and it kept popping up. And I called Adobe yesterday, and they said it was something wrong with one of my pictures. It wasn't working right, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I took them all off, and I had to re-plug them all in. And for some reason, it's still saying this thing pops up.
oh yeah, I don't get that.
I don't know if it's just because the picture is, I don't know. I have no idea, but I was on the phone with the woman for 2 hours for her to figure out that it was something wrong with the pictures that I had in there.
I wonder why that acts like that.
Yeah, and I was looking at the published settings. I don't have anything where it says Air, Adobe, Adobe
Yeah,
Air.
yeah, that's what I went over that. That's why I went over that in the lecture, because I see, what was it? Oh, the mouse over.
Come on. Why is it supposed to be a mouse click? See what I'm talking about? Now we have an issue with the second button.
Can you click on the properties for that one? Scene 2 underscore BTN. Okay. So go ahead and show me the frame. Okay. Have we gotten to frame 280 at this point?
Yeah, that's where we are right now. Right, this next click button.
And do we have a stop? Yeah. Did we
I'm
get
going
it?
to stop at the beginning.
Okay.
And I put in this play.
And you saved it and output it. You published it.
Yep. Then I did the same thing with the next one because it's supposed to go to the next scene. And I changed this one. This one's also button scene 4. And that's this one here. And I also put in the play. So we could get to this scene with this.
Okay. So let's do this. Do another file publish, and then let's browse out to that folder and just make sure, I'll watch your watch to see what time. And we just need to make sure all the files are generating, because it's mainly the JavaScript file that we need to make sure is being redone. Oh, can you also browse out to that folder? I want to check the timestamps on all those files that.
On what?
Using Windows, using your Finder. Click on Finder and then go find where these files just are on your hard drive. Because I want to make sure that those are getting regenerated.
This is it right here.
Okay, can you, let's see, look at the timestamp. Modified 12:03 a.m. Okay. Now let's see HTML. Go down the one just below it. Okay, so that's getting modified too. See the date? See the timestamp? I just want to make sure those things are getting regenerated. Frankly, you can actually double click on that right there, but see, that's not what you're expecting, is it?
No.
I saw what you wrote, and I agree. I'm not expecting that either. Okay, let's do this. Right click and right click on it. Can you do the right click? Okay, inspect. Now let's see. Click on the event listener tab right there. Now over the right there. Click there. Okay, mouse down. Open up that one. Canvas. Okay, I'm trying to troubleshoot this. This is just the Canvas interactivity. I want to see the JavaScript. Elements console. Go up the panel above it, and where it says Elements console sources network timeline. Can you click on up one, right? Up a little bit more over to the left. Left. Go click on console right there. I'm trying to see where we can troubleshoot this. And let's see, elements. Yeah, you can click on each of those slowly. What I'm trying to find out is where we're going to find the JavaScript that is doing what the body tag, canvas, that's right there. Go up to where it says sources. Oh, there, let's click on that. Sources, and let's see what we see. Okay, no, let's see, there's some JavaScript in there. Command P to open a file. Okay, so that code is what's coming in from the website. That's found in the lib folder.
Mm-hmm.
Can you open up that so that we can see the full file name down? Yeah, and even that to the right, it says file mobile-kelly.me. What else does it say there? Okay, there's the HTML, there's the JavaScript. Okay. So there, okay, click on the JavaScript one and let's see. Can you do a command, click in that window right there, do a Command F. Let me see if it brings a find. Does it bring up a find there? Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Okay, so look for mouse clicked. M-O-U-S-E space clicked. I think it's a capital M. Oh, it doesn't worry. Keep going. Mouse space click. There it is. There it is. Okay, so you see it finds it on line 34. Now, in that find window, click the down arrow. See the mouse click. Go down to that find. Yeah, click down. Do it again. Do it again. Let's keep looking for these. See that right there? It doesn't see the code yet. We have replaced that. Okay, and yet it says, "Oh no, you haven't." Now, be careful now. This file you're editing, but it's not changing it in your FLA file. So just so you know what's going on right now, you are dynamically on the fly editing the generated files. Now, I need you to understand. I need you to understand something. You are not changing the JavaScript code that's incorporated in the FLA file. So the next time that you publish, you're going to overwrite this. What you're doing right now. I just need you to realize that.
Yeah. See all of them.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't really get why the generated file.
But you see, it's in the code in the file, but it's not showing up here.
Yep, this is a kind of what I thought that this was a caching issue, and that's why I had you bring up that new incognito window. But this is not a cache. I mean,
now, is there any way that I could edit the file that I have saved in my folder?
Again, like I said, the next time you publish, it will overwrite any changes you made. It doesn't, you can't go backwards, back up in the FLA file. You have to start, and then it generates. It's like a one-way street. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we've got to figure out why this is not generating. And I'm wondering, let's see, we did a new incognito window, which should have saved. Do this, go up to the URL. Let's see, the URL. Okay, so instead of .html, change it to .js in that line right there. And just hit enter. Because now we're just going to snag the JS file. Hit enter. Instead of us hitting the HTML file, which then sucks in the JS file, now we're going to hit just the JS file. And scroll down, let's see. Oh, see, that's old too. Okay, now if you look over to the right, yeah, that's the generated JS file. Okay, so so why isn't it refreshing? Okay, I have an idea. I want you to close out this. Close this out.
Close the incognito?
Yeah, close that out too. And now go back to your Finder. And browse to that file. Browse the HTML output file. All right, now I want you to double click on that. Did you?
Yep.
I don't know if this is actually going to help. See, I'll bet you that the JS file is even messed up. I don't think the publish is working.
So what am I supposed to do?
See, that's interesting. It's not behaving when we do it like that.
And when before yesterday, this is what I was getting all day Monday and half of yesterday, just a completely black screen.
Okay, do a right click and do view source if you can. Right click. Nope, that was just an image. That's HTML and then that's JavaScript. Do a search right in there. Do a search, Command F, and search for button clicked. I'm kind of expecting this to still be broken. Space clicked. Hit enter.
I did.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't. Why didn't it find it?
Because it's not in there.
It's not there. Oh, I'm sorry. You're on the HTML file. Oh, wait a minute. That looks like there's some JavaScript in there. Okay. Anyways, yeah. I think you're on it. Yeah.
That's in the HTML. There is no button click in there at all.
Yeah. A little bit of JavaScript, but it's actually the JS file where I think you'll find it. Not there either.
It's got all my pictures.
Why doesn't it find the button click in there? Maybe it's because this is the good one. Can you search for this dot play? Look at that. Click next. See, that one's the good one. So the export, the publish is working.
So why is it not showing up in Google?
It has to do either with caching. The publish is working. But what's weird is it didn't work when you went out there with the Finder and you clicked on it. It didn't work. You know, we didn't see your animation take place.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that the publish is working, but when we grab the URL for it, and URL means location. Let's see. We're just protocol that's being used here is just the file protocol. But I thought that it would still work. When you just didn't open, I figured that would still work. But and this looks like it should work, but why doesn't it work? Let's just for grants. Let's go out to your Finder and do a right click and open with. Right click, open with, and see if the Safari comes up. Yeah, go down to that. Let's open this in Safari and see if it has the same behavior. So the publish is working. We just proved it. We clicked on HTML, we looked at the JavaScript, and it's got the proper instructions there. See what's going on. That's weird. We just did an open with. Oh, here it comes. Okay. I'm interested to know if the behavior is the same in this browser or if it's different. I don't see the animation happening.
No,
We've opened it up.
this is why I'm frustrated.
Yeah. Now, so the browser, it's not a problem with the browser. It's not a problem with publishing. I mean, we can't blame Google Chrome for it. At least we don't appear to be able to blame Google Chrome for it. Why don't you keep that up for right now, and let's go back to Google Chrome and click on your history. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Click on a different tab up there, and let's say, let's see, not that one. Oh, go to the left. I don't mean click, open a new tab, or go right there. Click on that. Okay, now let's study this for a second. See that 127.0.0.1?
Uh-huh.
That is a URL for your local, it's an IP address actually, for your local computer. 127.0.0.1 is your local IP address. Now the colon 8090 means the port on your local, quote unquote, your local web server, port 8090. What port 8090 means. So I think it's a little bit different. See, when we just double clicked on it, so if you click on the other tab, you'll see it won't look like that. The other tab will say file, colon, / users. That's actually a full path directly through the Finder to your file. That's actually a little bit different way of accessing your infographic. It's going to it's not going through HTTP type protocol. Anyways, go back to the other tab. And so what the other tab is, that other tab right to the left, right there, that is using HTTP protocol. You don't see it there, but it normally would be HTTP : / 127.0.0.1. So hypertext HTTP protocol is a little bit different. And this thing might be responding a little bit differently because we're going through what might appear to be like a local web server. That 8090, what does that mean? Port 8090. Hold on, let me look. What is port 8090? There's 8080. That's HTTP also. So there's actually different ports. A port is kind of like an entry point, and they're numbered like between 1 and 64,271, something like that. Port 8090 is a designated port. And so what we're saying is, okay, tackle this thing as if you're a web server and go into port 8090. Hold on a second, port 8090, list of ports, web server, and it's actually a standard. This is TCP and UDP. Hold on a sec. 8090 support. EasyLog web application. 8080 is like taken up by 8080 HTTP alternate. There's HTTPS also. 8080. All right, I'm just studying this right. That 8090. So it's kind of important here. What I want you to do is copy that whole URL. Just click on it once and then do a Command C. Okay, now I want you to go over to Safari. And I want you to click that and paste, replace that, Command V.
Oh, come on.
You can do a Command A to select it all. Double click, yeah. Paste, good. Okay, now hit Enter. Now that way we're going to enter this in the same way as the other one entered. So now it's happy because we're doing it with the same URL that the other one did it. We're going through the web server.
So big.
Yeah. What did you just do?
I zoomed it out.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and click next. Look at that, it's working. Oh, yeah. So Safari's happy. Safari is not acting badly.
Yeah.
That Google Chrome and even the incognito window was acting badly. Hopefully, we're going to get to that one screen. Whoa.
Ah!
What? Did it work?
It didn't stop it at that
Oh, yeah.
screen
We should have done a stop, maybe.
right here. That's where we need to do it. Let's see.
Introduce a new line underneath where we just changed it. Wait. No, not there.
Here?
Right after, yeah, introduce right after line 21. New line, and do a this dot stop inside there, because it's got to be within the context of this mouse over.
So after this, you want me to do a this dot stop?
Yep. Okay, save it and then publish it. Actually, just save it. See, we need to do maybe a test or let's just do a file publish. Don't worry about test right now, because that test takes it too far. Just do a file and publish. We want to regenerate this stuff. We don't want to do the test because the test is going to go ahead and bring it up in our bring it up in the Google Chrome default browser, and that's not behaving too well. So let's wait for this publishing to end.
So then I go to Safari
Yeah,
and refresh it?
that's exactly right, Kelly. Very smart. Cross your fingers. That always helps. By the way, that was smart. Very smart. You know what's going on.
Now it's slow.
Billy's hanging in there. Billy, where
I
are
feel
you
so.
located? Tell me again, Billy, where you are.
I'm in Alabama.
Yeah, it's like midnight.
Yes, 11:27.
Yeah,
And
it's
see,
11:30 here. It's 12:30 here.
I didn't want to take up a lot of your time because I know you've been here a long time. But
Kelly's on the East Coast. How about that? I didn't know that, Kelly.
where is she? Where are you?
I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was gonna ask if you had any luck with mine. You told me to send it to you.
Yeah. Actually, I have not had any luck yet, and the reason is I had to focus on my grading, and so I actually have and I'm not totally done. So I'm actually behind on my grading. So I haven't gotten to it.
Okay, so this is what, in the justice of time, whenever you do have a chance to get to it, you just shoot a couple of lines in an email, tell me what I need to try or something, and then because I still got a whole nother class I need to be working into. That's
Yeah.
what I hate about having problems when you got a whole nother class and you're having to focus so much on one. It leaves the other one out in the wind, and then everything piled up on you at the last minute, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah. Okay.
What I was trying to do till I heard from you was trying to catch the mobile up to where the web is, so I can be working on both of them at the same time. But now I'm stuck on both of them because I don't know what else to do. So,
All right. Did you learn anything tonight?
yeah, it brings me to another question. I see you recording this. Where can it be found? Because a lot of what you going over with her is in mine too. So I can go back and watch this later when I got more time to, and I can get further in mine too.
Yeah, I'm going to upload this help session. I think I'll just probably append it to our live lecture.
Okay.
It doesn't work when you just double click on it. You gotta go through that 127.0.0.1. That's the only way.
Okay.
And it seems like Safari's working.
I'll have to change the default and have it go through Safari instead of Google Chrome.
Yeah, and that's one thing. You could also bookmark this page too. That's pretty interesting that it knows. That is weird. It's sending that file. How does it know where that file is? That's not a full path to that file. It's kind of like temporarily acting like that's the root of your.
And it's funny that this is flashing the way it is.
Yeah, it's because of your animation. You basically have that object or that symbol is like whipping through 4 colors. And it goes bing, 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 bing. And then it loops back and does those 4 colors again. So that's the result of the fact that you've got different colors in frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, and frame 4. Frame 4. Frankly, I wouldn't do it. I would just leave it one color. And you can do that with 1 frame.
Okay.
Hey, I gotta go. Are you going to be
All
okay?
right.
Struggle with it some?
I think so. Once I get this up and running, I think it's going to be fine. I am so grateful we were able to sit down with me and do this because I was pulling my hair out, literally going nuts.
Well, I gotta say hats off to you for getting it to work, because I got confused. I was frustrated. I thought this should work. So I'm glad that I don't know what you did, but
I guess perseverance.
yeah, I'm not sure what you did, but the good news is you did something. And,
yes, and it's a lot farther than what I was trying to do all day today. In a little bit of time with you, I got it a lot further where I needed to be. A little bit more tweaking, and it should be good to go. And I'll be so excited when it's finally done and I get to breathe this weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you so much for all your help.
You're very welcome.
I will see you both. Well,
yep.
Talk to you both. I won't be seeing you.
Not unless we drive out there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be in Connecticut no time soon. I don't know. I played with a gospel band. I could end up anywhere.
Hey, I have to say, we've had one major snowstorm all winter. I am fine. It is warming up here, and that's all I need to worry about.
And I'm glad I ain't nowhere near no snow.
Oh, so you're lucky. Can I come down south with you?
It was 70-something degrees today.
I-
It rained. It rained, but
it
it
rained
was
today
70.
too. It was 60 degrees and pouring all day today.
So we had some rain, but it was like in the 70s. So
I'm jealous.
I think the coldest it been here is probably like 29 degrees a couple of days, and then it was back up in the 60s and 70s.
Mm.
So I've been walking around with a short sleeve shirt on all day.
Not me. I got winter jackets and 2 layers of clothes and I'm layered up here. I hate it being up here. It is so cold. I hate the cold.
Man, it's been like 20 degrees. Yeah, around here.
I'm glad y'all there. And I'm so sorry, but I'm glad I'm not there.
Yeah, I could tell you're really compassionate, man.
I tell you, we're gonna
feel
cross
for
to
you.
Billy's house.
I
We're gonna
feel
go
for you. I really do. But
Billy's
I just, man, my dad used to live in North Carolina. And because of his job, he went back and forth between North Carolina and Alabama and did it every 2 weeks. And I don't see how he did it for all the years, but he did. But during the summer, we would stay up there. And some of them times, man, it would snow when we would have to go up there to visit him. I'd be so miserable. I'd say, you will never get me to live up here. I stay right here in the South where the sun shines a lot.
No, I want to go to Myrtle Beach. That's where I want to live.
But I tell you what, I don't want to go to Florida. Nowhere.
Mm-mm.
Man, they got mosquitoes down there the size of a helicopter. I can't. I couldn't do. I got family down there, and I go visit, and I come home. And then all them, we was playing basketball. Went in the house to get some tea, to come back out to finish the game. And it was like a monsoon out there. It done started raining that fast. And then it was gone. I'm like, man, I can't be up here with all this freaky weather. I stay right here in Alabama with the Crimson Tide.
Nice.
National champions, I must say. Anyway, I got to go.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right, take care, everybody.
All right, you too,
You too.
Instructor
Okay.
Brown.
You bet. Good night.